Tonight will be the first roundtable vote, but first, Raven and Mike have some players to interrogate.
Whenever we're in the group chats, the people that I see just watching the most is Aime and Amancio versus Drea. I think Drea is very communicative and I really like that. And I feel like because she's pretty much dabbled with every other contestant, we might be able to dish out some more information with her. Although I just thought about it, her and Mike had that little bit of a quarrel in the beginning. So we shall see how that goes, actually.
So what's going on? You guys got some questions for me?
Yes.
So why did you guys choose me, just out of curiosity? Because I was kind of like...
Yeah, so we just wanted to get just your perspective on things. Me, personally, and I've already shared this with you, I'm really not so much concerned that you are a traitor, but I am looking for who I'm going to end up voting, and I'm hoping that we'll be voting the same way. And I really tried my best to be like, I don't think you're a traitor. I think it'd be dumb to only pick people you think are traitors to interrogate. I just wanted to get a better idea of where your head was at. Picking the 3 people that I think are most likely to be traitors to interrogate, I think is like a terrible game move and gives them an excuse to murder me potentially. So like, I didn't necessarily think that that would be wise. So I kind of have some thing, but I've heard that my name may or may not have been sort of floated out there. And I was wondering if either of you were there when that may or may not have happened.
Yeah, for me, I remember us like talking a little bit during the backyard. I remember you saying that you're more of the quiet one unless questions are asked more directly towards you. And I figured, okay, this might be a good time to ask questions directly towards you. So
yeah, no, I was chuckling because I picked Mike to be an interrogator, so I'm like the guy I picked to be an interrogator. So.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. No. I appreciate it. I think it's a unique opportunity. I don't know the best way to really go about this, but like I personally am looking at this round. I'm looking for someone who is trying to subtly push people to target each other. So I know, or believe at least, that Drea has been bringing my name up in the backyard chats. However, I'm less concerned about that, and what I'm more concerned about is anybody who's trying to push her on that path. Does that sort of make sense?
That makes sense. I didn't have the last chat I wasn't in with Drea. Chat before that, which was you were in, where she called you out about jumping onto a late group where you said that you only trusted people on that call,
which I thought at the time was a joke. I feel like, and I guess it wasn't a joke. And I'm curious if that was like just her mishearing something, or if like someone's planted that idea there.
I think your name was passed around because of that situation. And us not knowing like the full story and hearing different sides. And what I was told was that you even denied the accusation that she made. So that's what was being tossed around essentially.
At the time that I guess made the accusation in a later chat, like she did bring it up. I legitimately thought it was a joke. So I guess you can say I'm denying it and that like that isn't something I said, because why would I sit in the backyard chat that I know full well anybody could join and say, I only trust you 4 or 5, which even if was true is just not something I would say in a public forum.
And Mike cleared the air about the whole thing with him and Drea.
The vast majority of us are faithfuls. That's just the reality of the situation. There's only a few people. And it's going to be really tough to pick one out at this point, which is why I don't want to just like turn like right to like, oh, we need to get rid of Drea because she's starting shit. Like, I don't know that she's doing it like from a traitorous intention. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like I definitely came on strong, but it may have been necessary to get Raven on the same page as me. Again, I'm really interested in people who are like trying to stir the pot. More so than like get to the truth of the matter, because I think they look really different.
Yeah, I'm curious on your perspective, Aime. Like, is it Aime or Aime?
Aime.
Okay, that's a beautiful way to spell it. That's so cool. I'm curious on your perspective and suspicions on people, whether it be us or whether it be others, and why.
Nope. So I'll be completely upfront. Mike, when I did hear that, I had some suspicions about you. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna say it to your face. So I did have suspicions about you, but I never at any point was like, oh, it's Mike, because honestly, I've only talked to you a couple times. We had the one-on-one, but I don't know enough about you to be like, yeah, it's Mike. And then, I did have suspicion about Drea, because for her to go out there and just throw that out there about you so early in the game, it's kind of like, is she trying to take attention away from her?
Also, a quick question. Who did you save?
I voted to save Elle on the very first night.
You saved Elle and...
I saved Lori.
Okay.
Aime also saved Lori, which seems to be a common thread of people really liking to save Lori.
Are you on any alliances yet, or?
I'm not on any alliances yet. I've had a couple conversations with Dot, but I've never made an alliance or said, hey, I'm gonna vote this way or not vote you. It's too early in the game to figure out who I can trust and who I can't trust. Mike had a lot of good questions, and so did Raven. Raven's question about the alliance I thought was pretty good. And then she also asked who I voted safe for the first round, so I think she's trying to keep track of that to see if anybody's story changes.
And we chose you because we haven't heard much from you. Like, at least I haven't. Like, I feel like in the bigger settings you are very reserved, which is totally valid, but I just kind of want to get an idea of like where your head is at, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I just, am open to take the opportunity to get to know you on a one-on-one level as well. And you said somebody else is going to come in, so getting to know them as well too.
I wouldn't necessarily be opposed for it just being Amancio doesn't talk enough. We can all just agree to vote out Amancio. I don't think that's what's going to happen. There's too much drama in the air, all that stuff. Guess what? I get to interrogate Amancio, and guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to get him on my side. I'm just curious, as like a general, where your head is at. We're gonna be voting in like a little over an hour, and I'm kind of curious, like what names you're considering, why, what general like reasons you are thinking about following.
As for the voting part, I'm still undecided. Like, I'm just, after conversing with a few people for the past couple of days, I still have to really think about my who am I going to put up, for my vote, so that way it'll make sense and it'll be for the right reason and not, be something that'll come up as, crazy.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I've heard from other players that Drea had been mentioning my name due to her overhearing a comment, I guess, about me only trusting a few people or something when she came into the room, which is interesting. And here's my concern. I don't want this to just turn into a me versus Drea.
So basically, I was just telling Mike that I'm still undecided about who I'm going to vote for, since I have to really think about my decision. And also, since he mentioned about somebody potentially stirring the pot, I was just telling him that I wasn't aware that this was happening. Then I'm thinking probably, somebody who was at the backyard that could, contribute to that happening.
Yeah. I'm hopeful that in the backyard chat later today, in my chat in the interrogation with Drea later, if she shows up, and at the public vote before the vote, that we can sort of show who someone who's stirring the pot could be. And
then, did we speak of who you were suspicious of?
No, who was I suspicious of?
And it's totally okay if you say one of us. We appreciate the honesty.
Okay, well, luckily it's not one of y'all, but it's, I think it could be potentially, I think his name was Dot or something. Not Dar, but the other guy.
Dot.
Yeah.
DOT. Any reason why?
I don't know. It's just, even though he hasn't said much, I just, I think he might be hiding something.
I feel like there's definitely some suspicion around him, even for me. I feel like I have trust in him, but also I'm concerned. Does anyone know if he's been in the game before?
He has. I've actually played with him before.
Oh, okay.
And like I haven't had much opportunity to interact with him in this game, so I'm not going to try to pass a judgment on him.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say, I don't want to like put a target on him because he's a really nice guy, but when I did play with him, he lied straight to my face, and I really believed it at the time. Like, I was so convinced that this man was like my BFF in the game, and like he, from the very moment he met me, was like, I do not like him, which is fair. I know a lot of people don't like me on first impressions, but like, I was like, oh my god, I love Dot, he's so nice. And then like I watched the season back, and he's just like, oh, I can't stand Mike, and I just got to be nice to him so he doesn't vote me out. And I'm just like,
Ooh,
and like,
okay.
I don't think that means he's a traitor. I'm just saying everyone has the capacity to lie. Some people better than others.
I think my judgments of everyone is still like building up and rising, and I just really hope that they're all right and my assumption and intuition is right.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. What about you, Mike?
I'm doing okay, you know. I a little nervous, but I think Ray.
Well, wait, why are you so nervous to talk to me?
So, just like straight up, I heard yesterday that you may or may not have brought my name up in the backyard chat.
Yeah.
Based on you had come into a chat, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you had heard something, and like I want to clear that up because like legit, and like I probably said this later that night in a chat. I thought you were joking when you said it. So like,
no!
What did you think I said?
Mike. So let me just tell you now, there is no like bad blood between us.
I don't want there to be bad blood between us.
No, there isn't. Everything literally is a joke, but
yeah.
I mean, I wasn't serious, but it does raise an eyebrow. I mean, I think you're a good guy, and I think like, you know, I'm not into it with you or nothing. We have no beef, but I'm definitely, I don't know if you're a traitor or not.
No, and like, we're at a very early stage, and like, if you're like, oh, this person's 100% faithful, like, I think you're making a mistake about anybody, myself included. I'm just curious, like, what did you think I said? Because like, you're kind of like spreading it around. So
I feel like we're gonna get a different sports team from you every day.
It'll be about the same 4 or 5. It's always the same 4 or 5 that I like. All the Michigan teams.
Did I interrupt something? I heard you say the people that's in this group currently right now. I wasn't in the group currently because I had just came in.
Right.
But you were like, the people in this group currently right now, I think you guys are cool. All you guys are cool. So I'm like, Mike thinks only some of us are cool.
Because I never said these are the 4, 5, 6 people I trust, and that's it. That would be stupid. I would never say something so dumb in the backyard. I'm smarter than that. I may be a hot mess, but I'm not that dumb. And I'm hoping that she believes that. I'm hoping that I have believability with her, because if I can get her to not be coming for me, and we can come together and go for either Lauren or Ashley together, I think I can get the votes to do that. Yeah. I know how the backyard chats work. I wouldn't sit in there and say, oh, I only want to trust these people. You're the only cool people. Like,
no, you didn't say it like that. But
anyone could walk in.
No, you didn't say it like that. You just said, I think everyone, this is what you said. I think everyone in this group right here is cool. It wasn't nothing negative towards anyone else. It wasn't that serious for it to become a whole hoopla thing, but I guess he wanted to make sure no one thought he was unfaithful.
I feel like it's being twisted, maybe, I think mostly by other people, to be something else.
It's just, I mean, Mike, we talked about this when I said it. I said I'm going to tell you. We laughed it off.
Yeah, and do you remember? I was like, oh, I think she's joking. Yeah, because I thought it was like a joke at the time. So I'm just concerned that people are going to be taking it to be something other than it's not.
No,
you get what I'm saying? Okay, so we can clear it up either in the backyard chat or at the vote or both. And here's my thing, right? Here's how I think we can turn this into getting a traitor. Okay? What I want to know is who is most interested in pitting us two against each other. Because do you know who that benefits?
The traitors.
That benefits the traitors. The traitors will see 2 people going at each other and go, oh my god, this is my opportunity to make sure all the traitors are safe. So I want to know if anybody was like, oh yeah, no, you really got to get in on him. Like you gotta keep, talk about it. Like, oh, I want to hear more. Like I don't think Mike's trustworthy. Like after you were to say it in the backyard chat, like, is there anyone that stands out to you as like really trying to subtly push that opportunity into making us target each other? Because I don't want to at this time target you.
No one really mentioned it to me.
I'm curious, have you had any one-on-ones or conversations with Dot? Drea?
I've had a conversation with Dot, yeah.
How is your feelings towards him?
I mean, like I said, I don't 100% trust anyone, but Dot seems pretty cool for now. I don't really know what's his intentions, but he gives off a lot of energy. So I think it can be construed as both ways, actually.
Same. I agree, because I think Dot was the one. Dot was the one that told me like the whole story, because I was cut out from the backyard from when all of that was happening, and I'm not sure now if I trust exactly what he said, because he may have, I don't know if he misinterpreted what Mike was saying, or it just because he's been in the game now with Mike before. I'm curious.
Oh, so he was the one who spreaded it?
Yes,
Okay.
Was saying that Mike was denying it and saying that was finishing the story that like you were telling Mike in the backyard, do you want to clear up what you said? So he wasn't fully, I guess, like, I don't know if he was just seeing the picture differently, or if he was just fully stirring some spices into a pot. 2 minutes.
2 minutes. I think he could be stirring. I like I said, I don't know. He gives genuine, but honestly, everyone does. Now that I think about it, Dot has been like steering a lot of conversations a lot of different ways. He asks a lot of questions. He wants to get in the minds of everyone.
So our vote is rather soon, and we get a chance to talk, I think, right before the vote, kind of publicly to everybody. I would love to clear up our thing and not have it turn into a me versus you, because like I don't think that you're a traitor at this point, and I really am kind of struggling back and forth. My mind changed a few times as to whether it's more likely that Drea is a faithful or that Drea is a traitor. So I think we should just clear that up, and then I don't know, maybe I don't want to say call out Dot, but like
I'll call him out.
Okay. I mean, if you think I will back up.
I mean, I just asked him like, what's that about?
Yeah, and I'll back up, that we've cleared it up and everything, and we can just kind of see where the public discussion takes us. I want to make sure that we're
everything on the same
having
page.
a good shot at a traitor, and like I actually don't feel strongly one way or another about that.
I'm actually kind of really looking at that right now, and to be honest, I don't know if the lady with the bangs is still here, but she's very suspicious.
Here, I wrote down in this chat with Drea that she said Dot seems cool, and then like immediately later in that same chat, Drea was like, yeah, no, we should all target Dot. Like, I'm gonna go after Dot, and I want you to back me up. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Very much in as long as it isn't me mode. Dot was a crazy turn that I wasn't, I don't know, expecting.
Me too, because I had a lot of trust with Dot at first, and albeit I admit he was definitely turning some eyes onto you. So that's, I think, why your name was coming up so much more, because even in our one-on-one, he was saying, be careful with this person, be careful with this person. Also, be careful with Mike because of his gameplay. He's played before with you. Like, you already know the game, so you even know how to be a traitor. And then, but then he was finishing it up with giving me a bunch of really good information before getting cut off. Or tips and tricks, and then even one of them being don't share everything you know, and that could be both a good thing.
That's my problem. I share everything, and it's gonna get me killed one way or another. It'll get me killed. You never like hearing your name floated out there, and I honestly think a lot of people's minds are made up, and I'm afraid that people are gonna kind of just default onto me because I'm such a big personality, and that scares me.
With less than half an hour until the roundtable vote, the players have a chance for some last-minute discussions.
We did our interrogations. They went good. The game has begun. I will say that the game has officially begun. And so
hello.
This game's getting ugly. Huh?
Oh my god, the infamous Dot is here.
Oh,
wow.
I've heard stuff about Lauren. I was like, who the hell is Lauren?
Yeah, I'm Megan's best friend.
Word?
Yeah, she said you were her number one before.
Oh, Meg?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Me and Meg go way back. That's my girl for real.
Awesome.
Nuts. Connect.
Are you allowed to share who you interrogated, or?
Yeah,
I'll share. We interrogate. Yeah, I'll share. We interrogated Amancio, Aime, and Drea.
Okay.
Amancio,
No,
Aime.
y'all are so easy to love. I swear. Like I got no suspicions, or I mean, I do and I don't. But like, which one of y'all are lying? Which one of you guys? This is a trick, I swear.
Hi everyone, I miss everyone.
What up?
Hi, Drea. We were missing you the other night.
Yep.
Hey, Drea, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What does sauce mean?
Sauce? Like you mean
Yes.
slang or like actually?
Like slang. Like the other night, like when we had our very first backyard, and Raven was like, so there could be two of us, two traitors in here. Who do we think? And you were like, that's sauce. What the heck did you mean?
You mean sus?
Oh, sauce? Oh, do you mean
Yes.
sus?
Sus?
Yes, sus. Okay.
Suspect.
Oh, sus.
Suspect. Oh, okay.
I got it.
Suspect.
Suspicious.
Because I was like, I am too old to try and figure out what the
It's
heck
like
this
I'm
little
gonna
man.
make
So I will just
sideways.
ask her.
I mean, should we take it now?
We can. I mean, it's only going to reach a few people, but like, you know, we kind of had a misunderstanding that I'm sure most of us have heard about at this point. But like, me and Drea were cool. Like, it
I think
wasn't.
Yeah, we're cool. Me and Mike are cool. There's nothing.
And we are too, right, Drea? We're good.
Yeah, we're good too, Jason. We've talked.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I haven't seen you in a minute, Ashley. Like, Ashley, who are you suspicious of?
Honestly, I'm still kind of figuring it out because it's like the drama with you guys happened, and so everybody was kind of focused on that.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I need to talk to more. Like, I feel like I've talked to majority of the people, but there's still like some people that don't talk that much that I want to talk to more.
Is that?
I don't know if they're quiet because it's just their personality or if it's like a strategy.
There's still some quiet ones that I feel like aren't putting a ton into this yet. And at least for right now, while we're still learning each other and figuring stuff out, I'm not ready to go with somebody that I think's like in this and, you know, talking and trying to figure things out. So I'm going to focus a little bit on that. Those that have been kind of quiet and not quite participating or we don't know anything about.
So did you guys learn anything in your interrogation?
Yes, we did. So I think he popped out. I'm gonna try to talk quicker. Mike and Drea are clearing up the air. They were trying to clear up the air. We realized that it was Dot that was kind of was throwing the names out there, stirring some pot.
Okay.
And he was telling me in the one-on-one that Mike was saying this and not to trust Mike and this and that because he's played the game before, etc. But he was also telling me in the same sentence after that sentence, to not say too much, to not share too much, to be aware of who's saying too much, etc. And so it was like two things. Like it was suspicion.
That's interesting.
And then,
That's very interesting.
That is. Yeah.
Wait, so who lied? Who lied? Because somebody lied. Who was it?
We don't know is the thing.
Oh, it's either Drea,
I
Dot,
still feel like the way that it still sounds is that Mike, even though Dot said that, I feel like there was some kind of truth behind Mike saying it in both chats, maybe? I don't know.
because Drea said it too, so it almost seems like two people versus one.
Yeah.
And I'm totally lost because I didn't get to see the chats.
Did they say if anything came out of the interrogations? I was one of the ones that got interrogated. I blatantly said that I was originally suspicious of Mike because of what Drea said, and I said it right to his face. I'm like, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah.
But that was where I was at. So
Yeah,
And
Raven said she got good vibes from you, Amy, and she didn't feel like you were sus at all. I guess we're using the word sus now.
They said that they cleared up the air between Drea and Mike because I guess there was some type of conflict.
Oh, is it? Are they groovy now?
they're good.
I don't know. All I heard was that they talked about it, but I don't know what the.
But now
That's bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Mike and Drea did not squash any type of beef. I don't know what's going on with those two, but I just don't trust it at all.
We're gonna talk about some stuff once everybody comes back. Like, I wanted to say, if you guys, I don't know if you guys heard anything about me and Mike, but I have no ill will towards Mike. Like, we're not into it. Like, me and Mike are totally cool. We've talked about it. And yeah, here he is right now.
Hey, how's it going?
Right on time.
Yeah, so I think just jumping in on what Drea I think was saying is like we're cool. Like it was legitimately just a misunderstanding. And I do not think that it serves the Faithful's purpose for it to be a Drea versus Michael. What I'm interested in is who is telling us to target each other or who isn't contributing to the group at all. Who's being quiet and just letting the chaos play out.
I
Because that would be one way to play a very good traitor game because we're all gonna be raring to go and trying to find things out. Who doesn't care to learn things? Who's quiet? Who's reserved?
I was feeling honestly a little nervous hearing the discussion because a lot of the players were talking about voting off people that were fairly quiet, and I 100% know I'm one of the quiet ones.
Amancio would fit that description for me of what you just said. The second part, I've struggled to get anything from Amancio at all.
Amancio, yeah.
So if somebody's got something different,
But we thought the last quiet person was a traitor.
Anthony, what kind of way are you sort of leaning?
That's why it was taking so long to get back into the chat because I actually do not know. Amancio being, so I'm just making sure he's not coming in. He's like the one that I know the least about. Hey,
who was that, Anthony?
Amancio. Is that his?
That's kind of where I've been feeling. I can't get anything from there.
How do you feel about that, Drea, Aime, and Dar? Like, if we all just agree to vote Amancio?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to vote the quiet person out. I think the traitors know that they have to play a face, and sometimes that overtalks. So we should look at the people who's actually drawing a lot of attention and steering the conversations.
I've talked to like 2 or 3 people now. No one it's so hard reading people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Dar, I don't know if we've met, but
yeah, I don't. How you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm chilling.
Yeah, no, Drea, I honestly, I wish you and I would have been able to have like a one-on-one. I think that for us to vote for the most quietest person could be like a 50-50, you know? Like it may be right, it may be wrong. I think with the first elimination, her name was Rachel. Was that her name?
Yeah, she wasn't a traitor.
The time has come for the roundtable discussion and vote.
I'm gonna let all of them talk about it because they all know right now, like Mike and Drea is under everyone's radars. So I don't have to do anything. So I might be a little more quiet, maybe add some input every once in a while, or maybe crack a joke or something. But I'm not gonna be as pushy as I was yesterday.
Hello, everybody. Before we begin, I just want to remind everybody that only 10 people can appear on screen at once, so I'm going to be taking people away if they're talking the least. You will have at least a half hour to have a discussion amongst each other before you vote.
All right.
All right.
Listen, guys, I'm stressing.
This is when shit goes down.
I'm stressing.
Yay!
What are you talking about? Let's talk about it, Dar.
I don't know. Nobody shows suspicious of me, so I'm like, what do I vote?
Are you stressed about getting voted for, or who you are going
to vote for? You know.
Yeah.
So are we going with the voting towards someone that is united, or are we trying to figure out who potentially to vote for, or is it going to be a split vote, or?
And this goes for me too. Why should we get voted off? Because somebody's going home tonight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mike and Drea, would you guys like to discuss or?
Yeah, sure. So there was some back and forth kind of being thrown around over the past few days of the game. I just want everybody to know Drea and I are cool. It was a misunderstood comment that was blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
And here's how I think that can benefit all of the faithfuls. Is what I'm not looking at. I'm not looking at Drea because she said my name potentially. I'm looking at who is like sitting in the corner, stirring the pot, like, oh my god, awesome. 2 people are going at each other, and they're not traitors.
Exactly.
And like, who is benefiting from that, and who is like forcing that to happen? And Drea, do you have any like strong feelings about who was really pushing you
I just
into
want
it?
to ask everyone who brought it up. Who brought up the me and Mike thing?
Everyone's quiet.
I was not in the chat when it happened, so
Yeah, it was a pretty often discussion. It,
I mean,
it come up multiple times.
I heard it at the last minute. Was in the chat, so somebody here was there.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the heck was going on. So when I was asked, what do you think about the Mike and Drea thing? I was like, what Mike and Drea thing? What am I missing? Like,
Who asked you, Lori?
I did. I asked her.
Oh yeah, Elle asked me.
I asked
Elle asked
because
me, and then I can't remember for the life of me because it was that night when I was outside freezing to death. I did not write it down. It was just like real quick, like okay. Because I was too cold.
She asked. It was
I did. I asked
But,
Lori, and I'll tell
Elle
you.
asked me, and I might be wrong. It might have been Dot or Anthony. Like I said, I didn't write it down.
And
but-
that's the 3rd time your name came up about asking about it. So why are?
But-
Can I
Wait,
myself?
I'm not sure if it was Dot or Anthony.
Yeah, I didn't like that. You know, Drea's got a big personality, so when she says your name, it's heard very very loudly.
Is Anthony
I
here
know
and
for
able
sure
to?
that Elle asked
Is
me.
Anthony-
Well, let everybody let him speak.
Hold on, all right,
because I
hold
want
on.
to
Let me-
answer
hey.
that first.
Anthony.
I want to answer that first, and then I'm gonna go to Anthony, then Elle.
Yeah.
Because that's the names that came up. Why
Alright,
are
Pete.
you spreading the pot?
So I think that's really interesting because I wasn't around for whenever it happened, but I was in a chat with Mike and somebody else, and Drea, you came into the chat and you were like, "Hey, Mike, I heard this in your last chat. Go ahead and like defend yourself." And Mike was like, "Bro, I don't know what you're talking about." So from
Yeah.
where I'm at,
clarification, I was like, I think
you're the
she
one
was
who brought it
joking.
up to me.
Because I thought
Right, but that was
the time
coming
she's
from
joking.
me and Mike. What I want to know is, it seems like a traitor would try to put 2 people, and this is not just towards you, Doc, this is whoever, because a lot of people has said it. I feel like a traitor would try to put 2 faithfuls against each other so that they can try to pit each other out of the game. And that'd be a
That
really,
makes
really smart
sense.
move for the traitors.
For sure.
Yes, that does make a lot of sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and it wasn't even my idea.
Yeah.
All credit goes to Mike.
Like, I think someone who's sitting in the shadows, who wants people to fight and is purposefully sharing information only to cause fights. I think you have to try to distinguish who is trying to bring information up to get to the truth of things, and who just wants as many people as possible at each other's throats and having reasons to vote each other. Because right now, we're not a unified front. We're not even close to a unified front.
Exactly.
And there are so many different threads people are pulling on, and some people are trying to get to the heart of things, and some people just want to make sure that their name isn't coming up at all.
Dot got really, really quiet when he got caught out. I never really seen him quiet like that. He was really, really quiet once he got called out. I feel like he knew his days in this game was numbered. Because I honestly do believe he's a traitor, but I'm gonna let him live for a little bit before I figure out who his teammates are.
Hey, Drea, let me answer your question. So I've never had a conversation with Lori about that. I've only came in at the end, I would say, of every room chat or like big group, and then I've heard it talked about. And the thing is, I think I was speaking to Jason
when it got brought up.
Yeah.
And someone was like, "Did you hear the drama?" And we were all like, "Oh my god, what drama? Like, what do you mean? What happened?"
And I think my immediate feedback to that conversation between you and Mike was, okay, so who else was in that room that can verify or substantiate what was actually said? Because again, if I'm coming at the end of every single conversation, only thing I can do is be like, okay, did anyone else hear about this? So if I brought it up, is because I was in a room and I heard about it, but my conversation was always, okay, so if Drea said this to Mike, those two were in the room. Who else was in the room that can verify this conversation ever happened?
I was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
I
just
got
really
you.
want to go back really quick. Like, Ashley, were you saying someone was bringing it up as drama, or were you saying that was Anthony?
No, I was
kind
in
of miss
the
it.
room with like it was. I think it was Lori, Anthony, Elle. I can't remember who. I don't, because I think you guys were in the room too, so you can verify who else was in the room. But it was like, oh, did you guys hear about this? And we were sitting there like, okay, what happened? Like, we want to take notes.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
I had
yeah,
no clue
I was
what
there.
even
Like,
happened.
oh, Mike or Drea lied. Like, somebody lied. So then we were like, okay, well, let's get to the bottom of that because, you know, there was a disagreement. So we were like,
lied.
okay, let's figure
lied?
out.
Yeah.
I think this is a big game of telephone. And
It is.
Yes.
I don't think Drea's lying.
And we actually cleared it up. So
Yeah.
I don't want to like make this whole thing like a big thing. I was just trying to. I brought it up to see who is unfaithful, who is the traitor.
Right.
I understand Anthony. I understand Elle. I understand that we got reasons, but that doesn't change the fact that pitting two faithfuls against each other is a tactic. So
Where
how do we know? How do we know that you guys are faithful?
Where would you think that I was pitting two people against each other? Where does that come from?
That's why I said it's a big game of telephone because it was described to me as Drea versus Mike.
Let's hear what Elle has to say.
Yeah,
Sorry to
so
cut you off.
I'm just gonna put it out there because this in the backyard chat, I was in and out. I missed a lot of people's conversation, and when I walked in, Lauren was talking about the drama between Drea and Mike. So, Lauren, if you want to talk to that, that's fine. But that conversation was happening, and I asked what is going on, and you explained that Mike was caught lying. Drea caught Mike lying. And I don't know what about something about alliances or whatnot.
So all of that was
the conversation kept going to it's Mike or Drea, and I'm thinking to myself, you're pitting two people together, and you're making an assumption one of them's a traitor. So there's something to that. So yes, when I had my one-on-one with Lori, I asked her about it because I wanted to know what else was being said about that whole situation. Because
are you talking about me or Lori?
I'm talking about you had been the one that brought it up in the chat.
Okay.
That's kind of crazy, Lauren, because you barely talk. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking to hear Elle say my name, and if you heard me say, like, are you saying Lori or Lauren? Because I have no idea what she was even talking about. So I was like really caught off guard to hear that. And I feel like she definitely had people looking at me some type of way.
Yeah, so everything that I had heard, like I said to Mike earlier, it was all like a game of telephone, basically. It was all different sides that I wanted to hear about. I think Ashley was just talking about the same chat where we were all there and we're like, whoa, what drama are you talking about? And Raven was the one who told us about what had actually originally happened because I wasn't even in the chat to begin with.
Yeah.
I'm just, if it is a game of telephone, I guess my question is who's dialing? Like who's spreading it? And like it sounds like you had a part in that. It sounds like now you're calling out Raven. Like guys, we got to get to the bottom of who's pushing this the most, I think.
Well, it started somewhere and it went down the line, and we've all talked about it, so.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's just going to say everyone, which everybody that's been named now, I mean, you look pretty traitorous to me. And that's fine. You know, everybody can be voted out, but we all got to come to an agreement still on who's going to be voted out tonight.
To be fair, you were missing. You and Dot were both missing for like a whole night. So I feel like that really fed the flame of like, oh, we don't really have much to talk about. And this one specific incident so-called happened. And so everybody's snowballing it and giving each other something to talk about.
Definitely. So we got to move on past the one part. It seems like everybody's at least good with everybody. The little things.
Yes.
We got to move on to the next reason and things we're looking at on how this works. Because I'm telling you, this can quickly become somebody sitting back right now loving the fact that we're arguing, going back and forth about things.
I'm watching all of you right now.
Everybody have something specific they're looking for. I put out there, I am struggling a bit with those that I just haven't gotten anything. It doesn't mean they're quiet. It means I'm giving a lot of information. I feel comfortable talking, but I don't inherit anything from them. That doesn't. I don't like the whole you talk too much or you talk too little. But what are you discussing? What are you talking about? If it's not the game at this point, we've got to start going with people we know are invested, and they're not just listening, sitting in the back and watching all this take place.
There is an information disbalance. The traitors have all the information. The faithful only have what we can share with each other. And so, who doesn't care to share information? Who doesn't want to find out the truth? Who doesn't need to find out the truth? Because, like, if you know, who cares? And you can come into the round with a fake vote, and that's all you need to do. And you can stick to that. And everybody else is going to have to actually try to find someone.
Did you say something, Amancio? I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to talk.
No. Sorry, Amancio. I talk too much, man. I interrupted you.
You didn't say nothing because I thought you did a little something like.
No, I was scratching my eyebrow. I was itching. I'm good.
You know. Some people say that's a tell. Like that's something that people do. You know, it's like twitching or like if you lie and you raise up your eyebrow and like scratch it.
If I may, is there anyone who feels like they have been quiet and would like now to share something?
So earlier when y'all was like, that it might be the quiet people, I barely talk. So like, was that towards me?
No, I'm asking. This is opening the floor to anybody who feels like they've been talked over, haven't had a chance to like share information, has something else they want to discuss. We still have time. Because as it is heading quicker and quicker to the deadline, we're going to have to decide on a vote, and it might just end up falling on who hasn't tried to find out the truth. And like, that's unfortunate. So like, let's try.
Dar, I'm happy to answer at least my thought on that is I just said, and I don't know if you were out or in, but I don't care about quiet or loud. I care about the information that's coming from somebody. I know that I can ask you something. You've proven it multiple times, and an answer of some kind is going to happen. It's not pushed right back to me. It's not you fishing for my information. That stuff matters to me. I don't care what tone it is, if it's loud or it's quiet.
So neither one of the interrogators shared any information with us yet.
Okay, we interrogated Amancio, Aime, and Drea. With Drea, we wanted to clear up the air with Mike and her and figure that out. And with Amancio and Aime, we just specifically thought that they were more of the quiet ones, and we wanted to get more information from them because we feel like we can trust. We were only giving 3 options, so we were just like, okay, who were the quiet ones that we want some information from?
Good pick.
Who all were the investigators?
It was me and Raven were the investigators for the round. And what I will say is, like, Drea is really, I think, trying to find out the truth of things here. I'm super glad that we had that conversation. I think Aime shared some good information with us. Amancio, I think you still haven't made up your mind one way or another. Is that true still now, this time later? I don't know that we got much out of you in the interrogation, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have that much to say because with the whole situation, I myself was asleep at the time, so this is all pretty new to me. But I don't really have any assumptions or anything at this time, so I don't really have much at the moment.
Nothing about anybody. It doesn't have to be about this incident. I think we moved past that. Like, you gotta have something, man. I'm sorry, but like, I don't want to put you on the spot. But, like, you gotta have something. Like, we're trying to figure this out.
I get that, but I only talk with mostly within 2 to 3 minutes, so I don't really know that much to really get that much information out. So I don't really, have anything.
Amancio, let me take a page out of Drea's book. Tell us why you're definitely not a traitor. Like, for sure, you're not a traitor. Let me know why. I'll tell you why I'm not, because it would kill me if somebody was asking me if I was a traitor. I'd tell them absolutely not. I know you're not. At least I want to believe you're not. You're not, right?
Definitely not.
Okay.
I think we haven't shown anybody that I'm not like a traitor, or show anybody that I gave them any sort of assumptions or anything of that sort. So I think pretty much I've been 100% myself from day one.
I have a question though. Amancio. So when we was talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, who do you feel suspicious? You're saying.
Who that what?
Yeah, who you said that you felt suspicious towards?
At first, I didn't really feel suspicious to anybody. I didn't really have that much information that when I was talking with people, so I didn't really know that much to really be suspicious about.
I was told that Amancio thought I was suspicious because nobody could be that positive all of the time.
Hey, I'm pretty positive over here.
I'm like, but really, I am not this positive all of the time. I mean, come on, y'all. I raised 8 grandkids from the ages of 5 to 13. There's no way. I try my best, but life does get me sometimes. But for the most part, yes, I am a very positive person.
I hate saying this because I really like her. Lori, the number of grandkids, and I could be wrong. That's why I want clarification on it. But in my notes from the first day, I wrote down 6. So I'm like, okay, it could be an error on my part. And then she said 10 at one point, and then she said 8. And then she said 10 again. And then tonight, I got to look at my notes. I think it went back to 8. So I'm kind of confused by the numbers going back and forth.
But I was actually told that Amancio said that he was suspicious of me. And
all right, Amancio, they're talking about you, man. Explain yourself.
I know. I was gonna say initially on the first day I thought you were, but you seem cool now, so I changed my mind since then.
Everyone thinks somebody's not cool. We can't all think everyone's cool.
Hey, we're gonna know who's not cool with who whenever we put these papers up.
Yeah.
There's no more talking.
I want to talk about investigators for next round. Personally, I think Jason and Drea would be amazing investigators. They've been going in hard in this chat. I personally, if I survive the vote, will be voting Drea and Jason to be investigators for next round. They'll get those extra chats, and I think that whatever they find out, they're going to be able to bring forward, and hopefully that helps us reach a conclusion.
I do not have Mike out of my picture on a good side or a bad side. I'm sticking with what we've discussed, but I can't say that I fully trust that Mike is trying to do or stand by my side right now. In fact, there's a couple things on my mind in which he went totally against me.
I was really trying to fill it out, but I saw that everybody, we were all being getting to know each other. Okay, that part is over. Now we have to literally all
it's a business.
ask direct questions. And I just want to let everybody know, if I ask you a direct question, I like everybody. I don't dislike anyone, but if I come at you thinking that you're a traitor, that's just how the game is going. Please don't get any beef with me. Please don't get upset. That's just how it is. So after today, we're gonna really play.
Should we have a kind of decided vote, as in should we vote the quiet one that doesn't seem to share, or should we vote the ones that were more suspicious of lying, or
the ones that was more suspicious of the lying?
Yeah.
You like that idea?
I like the lying idea because that's not right, man. We're all here to have a good time. Why you gotta be so dramatic and just be so negative?
But where did the lie start is the question.
There's so much
the quiet people
conflict.
are obviously the quiet people, but
there's no way to know where it started.
Honestly, I don't know who to vote. My mind keeps changing every 2 seconds. I'm like, I feel like I trust this person, then I'm like, oh wait, they said their piece, now I trust them, and I'm like, dude, I don't know who to vote for.
I feel like I don't think anybody necessarily stands out as pushing me and Drea against each other. So me, I'm going for the quiet vote. I think.
Yeah,
guys,
me too.
I'm
I
good
have
with you guys.
I just don't know.
It's something to keep in mind for the future. But
There are no lies to base it off of. I mean,
it's hard to nail it down.
Excuse me, lies was the wrong word. It's just I kind of who was the one that started the drama and all the blah 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 blah.
For me, it's impossible to tell who started it. To me,
I was trying to say I'm confused because what I heard was okay, Drea and Mike are having problems, and then all of a sudden it was someone turned around and was they said Mike said, oh, I never said that, blah 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 blah. So basically was saying that Mike was lying. So I'm sitting here going, well then who's lying, right?
It's just something being blown completely out of proportion. Me and Drea both sat and agreed to that.
No, yeah, because I have trust for you and Drea.
Okay. I need everybody right now to write down your votes on a piece of paper. Do not show it yet. We're going to be showing it one at a time. After you write down who you are voting for, I need your hands on camera, or at least one hand on camera. Anybody want to go first? Mike is going first. You can unmute yourself and say why, please.
Today I voted for Amancio. I'm sorry, but we sat with you in the interrogation. We tried to share information, get information shared with you. I didn't get anything there. You were put on the spot here. You didn't share anything. I don't think it's going to help us find a traitor at any point.
I struggle with this a little bit because we are still all getting to know each other, and that's a great thing. I think this person is a very nice person, but at this stage of the game, I'm trying to find those that can assist not just me, but the team as a whole, figure out who these traitors are. And as much as I enjoyed talking to you, I didn't get the information I needed. Amancio, I've decided I'm going to go with you for this.
That is 2 votes for Amancio.
Credit where credit's due. Jason kept nudging the entire chat to just voting out someone quiet, clearly meaning Amancio. I mean, Amancio's name was literally never publicly said.
I as well voted for Amancio. I'm so sorry, loves. I just wish I could have pulled more information out of you as an interrogator. But I love you and I think you're beautiful.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I also voted Amancio. And it's just because I feel like you weren't talking that much. We had a one-on-one and I was like, I felt like it was a good conversation, but like I just noticed that you weren't talking that much. So it was nothing against you as a person, but it was more just like, I guess like a defense mechanism.
I thought Ashley and I, had a blossoming friendship, so I thought. So I was really shocked when she said that she voted for me because I wasn't giving as much information as she wanted me to. And as you can see, like everybody else, there were a bunch of bandwagons just following along and just going, just turned against me just to save their own behind.
Amancio, you might as well go next. Let's see your vote.
Well, my vote was actually Dodd's. Honestly, because I didn't really talk with him that much, and based off of what was going around, it just was no brainer to vote for him and basically just call out the lies. So that's who I voted.
Like, what was that about, right? Like, what? Like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? I'm sure I'm not the only person that Amancio didn't get to speak to. So I just don't know why I'm the one who he would choose. I mean, there's so many other people. Mike was specifically picking on him so that everybody would agree to vote him out. And then he chose me. Like, what the fuck is that about?
Amancio. It's all right. What everybody else is saying, mainly Mike, is we got to figure out who the traitor is, and I don't feel like you're contributing a whole lot personally. And it's not payback because I wrote it down beforehand, so I respect.
Man, I don't know anything about you. I'm so sorry, brother. I wish we could have had some time to actually get to know each other a little bit more, have a one-on-one. But again, I know nothing about you, brother. So can you see it? Sorry, my handwriting's a little choppy, but Amancio.
Yeah, I'm gonna hop on that train too. I'm sorry, dude. I didn't have one single conversation with you. And I tried to get more information when I was like asking the interrogators, and it didn't seem like they got much either. So
I said Amancio too, because you were a real quiet dude, and excuse me, and like I barely got any information from you.
I went with Amancio as well, just pretty much for the same reasons that everybody's talking about. I unfortunately didn't really get to talk to you at all, but hearing what the interrogators said and what came up in the chat, I'm sorry. It would have been nice to get to talk to you, but I'm sorry.
I voted you because I talked to you, and you told me Lori was suspicious, and then when I asked you on screen, you didn't say that. You know what I'm saying?
Dar was just saying something just to have some sort of camera time, some relevance, something to get the light off of him.
I can't jump on that train. I haven't really talked to Amancio, so I don't have anything that would lead me to that. He's not really said anything. So I'm gonna rock the boat here. I'm voting for Lauren. Because,
Lauren.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. I have no idea what the other traitors are gonna say.
I'm kind of looking at her a little bit differently now.
Because that was the first person that I heard the Mike and Drea drama from.
It was good to know that it was one person that didn't vote against me. It's not like it was like I was being nailed to the cross or something. Everybody was just attacking me, like all these different knives and weapons just coming against me and stuff. It didn't feel like that. So it was actually relieving that it was one person being voted outside of myself.
Oh gosh. Today I'm voting for Amancio. I voted for you because everyone said it. You're kind of sus. You sit in the back. I feel like you gather a lot of information and like Dar, is it? Like Dar said, you said a lot of things that you backtrack on. So I don't know if you were trying to slyly play the game or whatever. But you know, I voted for you, Amancio.
I was a little uncomfortable that so many people went the same way without anybody actually saying who we were voting for. I'll say what I've said a couple times throughout the night. I'm still comfortable with the vote, and I think it was the correct vote because this early on, I just needed more, and I really liked Amancio and enjoyed talking with him. But for what we're trying to do here, I just didn't think there was anything beneficial with keeping him.
Well, that is clearly enough votes to get you out, Amancio. So you're going to have about 60 seconds to reveal to everybody if you're a traitor or a faithful. And, you know, any last words you want to say?
I'm faithful of number one. Just to wrap it up, it's been a pleasure playing with you guys. You know, I had an amazing time here, getting briefly knowing each and every one of you. And, you know, I definitely enjoyed my time here and hope you all have an ounce of luck. And, you know, if you're a traitor, but not like for the faithfuls. But, you know, that's pretty much all I got to say. And I hope, you know, it's a good game for you guys. So good luck. The audacity, like, can you believe they really voted out the baddest boy of all time? Like, can you believe that? Like, just crazy, but nothing less expected. I wasn't given much information just basically because I wanted to figure everybody out first, so that way I can have some sort of plan later on in the game, so that way I would try to play my cards right.
Sorry, Amancio. Bye.
Amancio, it was nice meeting you.
I'll avenge you, Amancio.
I'm so sorry. I love you. This is like kind of rough because like I didn't like. Oh, I'm sad that we lost a faithful, but I'm glad Amancio's gone.
All right, well, that was a fucking fail.
Thanks, Mike.
Listen, the outcome is bad, but I stand by the reasoning how we reached that.
And we took out a faithful, so it was hard to see him go, but I'm just glad I didn't see my name come up in any votes last night. And I have a lot more faith in Mike now, not being a traitor, and Drea, so.
Yeah, so I think it went relatively smoothly. I think that everyone was kind of in agreement to the same idea that we're kind of just going to knock out someone who's not talking a whole lot.
Was anybody influenced to vote out?
He had changed the story, so that's why I thought he was.
I was not. No, I just literally never talked to the dude.
I feel tricked. I'm sorry, Amancio. That's why I really got to figure this out. I don't know who to talk to. I mean, I know I have an alliance with Ashley, and I don't think that Ashley is a traitor. But the fact that everyone voted for Amancio and was in agreement on it, and before we voted, it seemed like nobody could agree on anything. So I feel like that was a narrative pushed by the traitors.
And then we asked him in front of everybody too, and when he has to know his neck is on the line, and like, I'm sorry, like, if you don't give me any information, that doesn't help me, and it sucks that he was a faithful, but like he wasn't helping us, and it sucks.
Made it
but like
harder, and that's what sucks because it's like it made it harder to trust him.
I personally feel influenced to vote for Amancio. I don't know if anybody else felt influenced. I mean, Raven and Mike definitely told me where they were leaning. I feel like they influenced me, but I don't know if they influenced everyone else. So that'll be something good to find out.
Yeah. He had not been a traitor, but he was also not going to be one to help us figure it out. So chances were we weren't going to get one today, but we had to get rid of the one that's going to help us or not help us get closer to finding one or two or however many there are.
Exactly.
Right. That's not.
Yeah.
That's, I understand what you're saying, Jason. He wasn't contributing the most. I totally get that, but that's not where we have to find out the traitors. And I feel like we've lost as faithfuls. This is not a happy moment to get rid of one of our team.
Yeah. Exactly.
This isn't he didn't contribute. This is like
this is like we're a man down.
Drea had it right. You know, we still lost one of our team members. So that vote, even though he wasn't contributing, could have potentially went to someone else who we thought was, So it was kind of like a burn vote. I was like, I'm not doing that again, If I have to be the only one in the group that says, hey, listen, this is why I believe this person is, then so fucking be it. I'm not gonna go along just because everyone else is doing it,
Right. And maybe we need a new strategy because obviously what we're doing isn't working. So we need to find a way to progress forward.
Going for the liars
I knew
next time.
that wasn't the smartest thing to do after Rachel, because it seems like faithfuls know they're faithful. They're pretty chill. Some of you people who are not as chill, I'm not gonna lie, I'm raising my eyebrows at you because this is like, why did everyone vote for Amancio? Everyone voted for him. It seems like the traitors are winning. You got everyone vote for a faithful, and now no one's looking at you. So we're still at square one, and we're down 2.
Like, what I noticed from Drea that does make me suspicious of her is she kept being like so okay with changing the target, and then she even ended up voting Amancio in the end. So like, it seemed like she's really ready to latch onto anything, and it could be like me, was ready to latch onto anything to survive the round. Or I'm leaning faithful that could be dangerous to me, or we could be really good allies. Like, I feel like it's gonna go one way or the other. Like, Drea is either gonna be in my targets really soon, or I'm really gonna like working with her long term. I actually stand by the reasoning that if someone is too chill, that to me is a bigger tell. Like, it is so easy for the traitors to just come in and come with a plan to go after someone. The discussion and the pushing people towards it, like,
yeah,
people who are too chill, I think, are a concern, but not the only concern.
Not for me. I feel like if you don't have information, you'll definitely want to listen.
The reason I voted Amancio off is because Dar and I had a one-on-one yesterday, and Dar's the one who told me, hey, Amancio said he thinks you're suspicious.
Yeah, that was
and so like when I brought it up tonight, he was like, no, I mean, and he did say that he thought it at first, and then he changed his mind because he thought I was a cool person. Okay, so tomorrow will be mostly confessionals, but there will be an hour or so backyard chat. But by the end of the night, the traitors might off someone else if you don't correctly make a save. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. So like stress now.
Too much stress.
Oh. Yeah, just for the interrogators, we're going for Drea and Jason. Are we going to be unanimous on that one?
I like that.
Yeah, I like that.
So I think my situation with Mike is I've spent the last couple days doing everything I can to get people away from the idea that Mike might be a traitor, and just getting his name rid of, even if that took me getting others focused on somebody that maybe I'm not that convinced of, just to get away from the attention being on him. And yesterday, not on one, but 2 occasions, he went out of his way to put my name right in the thick of things, putting me out there to be an interrogator.
Me and him are aligned. I wanted him and Drea to be interrogators because it's going to push focus onto Drea, whatever she's doing, good for me, bad for me. She's going to be in the spotlight. And I think Jason is my strongest ally in this game. My beliefs about his faithfulness or not, he has my best interests in mind. And that is the kind of person I want to be an interrogator.
So now what I'm confused with, or what I'm struggling with, is I've spent 2 days telling people, don't worry about Mike. Mike's all good. Everything's going to be fine. And now Mike is saying to people, Jason would make a great interrogator. And that could go a lot of different ways. Maybe completely innocent, or maybe people start to go, hey, what's their connection? And why is it that he's sticking up for him and he's sticking up for him?
Are Mike and Jason an alliance, or 2 people clinging on to each other out of paranoia?
Ooh, Raven! How you doing? I can't hear you.
It was a bit of a hard day for me, but I'm here.
It'd be like that. So how are you feeling with like last night?
I remember getting off and like sitting here for a second, like
Yeah.
what happened? Because I didn't expect it to, like, because we didn't have
What's
a
up, Amy?
plan.
I guess.
Like hey,
Right.
we didn't have a plan, and yet it felt so unison. Like it just felt
Right.
like I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's interesting. I'm just watching our wheels turn and just feeling
Right.
like the game officially began.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't think anyone was expecting Amancio until he had his last speech. You know what I mean? I feel like that was a make or break moment.
Yeah, I felt like once that happened, because I'm not sure. I think it was Dot that asked the question. So like, oh no, it was Jason asked. So why aren't you the interrogator.
Traitor, and he had nothing to
Traitor,
say.
there you go, words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he
I
had
was-
nothing to say.
I was just like,
It was like disappointing for our team, you know what I mean? So we were like, damn, like we thought we were actually getting somewhere, and apparently, like, you know, 2 people are gone and we still haven't made any progress. It more feels like nobody knows what to do and there's no game plan and they're not doing anything to move forward. So it's just more of like everyone's saying they need to do something, but nobody's working to move forward, and they're genuinely so confused. Like they have no idea that it's Dar and no idea that it's Elle. Like they have no idea. Like when they find out at the end, they're gonna be shocked.
yeah, I really
I'm
like
cool with
how
it.
Drea precedes it because in that situation last night, it wasn't like an escalation, which I feel like the traitor would have escalated it and made it more problematic, whereas Drea was very calm and was definitely just trying to find the answers. I gotta ask, because this just popped into my head because of that situation. Did anyone feel like Dot went super silent last night? Because
Dot was really offended when
really offended and went.
Super. Well, I don't know if I'd say super, but yeah, he was offended.
No,
He was
it
upset.
definitely hurt his feelings. But I
And-
feel like it would hurt anybody's feelings. Like I feel like if anybody, like it's like, oh, whoa, you don't trust me.
A lot
you know
of
what
people,
I mean?
yeah.
So I
A
feel
lot
like
of
that can
people
go both
caught
ways.
a lot of fire. And
Yeah, last night was intense. Like,
I have.
Because I mean, even I was included in it, which like I think that's when it all started. Was like the passing of the information was because I got passed information and then I was passing the information and then it was just like, so who did it? And then everyone was silent and it was like, well, the thing is like it started from so many different situations and conversations.
And that's why it went the way it did in the end, because like we couldn't pin anything down.
You
At
know what I
one
mean?
point, it
So
Hey,
Dot.
What up, fam?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Doing
I like
good.
your shirt.
How you feeling after last night?
Laura, is your hair different?
Oh.
Who? Me? Yes, I just have it down.
Go ahead, girl. Sorry, mine's up. Sorry about that. My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt. What up, fam? How y'all
Oh,
doing?
you're good. We were talking about you anyway.
Whoopsies.
So I'll just ask you, are you a traitor?
I'm not a traitor.
Wait.
I mean, I respect just asking.
Hey, man, you gotta ask, man.
I think I hit Mike a little bit harder than I should have at the beginning of the game. I feel like I was kind of playing it with like it was online Survivor or something. So it could have been a little bit of my fault.
Lauren.
Hey, Lauren, how are you?
What's up?
Hey, Lauren.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm actually okay. I'm chilling.
Right on.
Yep.
Were you sickly before?
No. I think he's just asking me about the vote, probably.
Well, in a little indirect
A little
way,
bit
although
there.
I got asked how I was when I came.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I mean, I feel like I knew I had a feeling somebody might like try and make a big move at the start. I was not sure who it was going to be. So, yeah, it was weird to hear my name out of everybody because I feel like Amancio couldn't say himself, and Dot, I feel like that was just a shot in the dark for him to like throw a name. You felt more targeted?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, not specifically. I mean, like I said, I kind of know his reasoning because maybe I'm the only person who like didn't talk to him at all.
How we doing, everybody? How you doing?
What up, Jay?
We're talking about last night.
I am curious because when we first hopped into that chat, talking after a second, one of the first things Drea said is, yeah, Dot, I've been hearing your name a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
Why?
I wasn't sure about that either.
What I will say is when we interrogated Drea, that she had brought up that maybe the game of telephone had started with you. I don't think we'll ever know who started the game of telephone, if anyone. I think assigning blame to you, Lauren, is not a great idea. Assigning blame to you, Dot, not a great idea. Like we just need to get past that and look towards other like behavioral things.
I'm cool. I'm fine with it. It's not a big deal.
I believe that everyone has been playing the game of telephone. Like everyone.
Yeah, everyone has. Yeah.
Or was a part of it on the end.
Right, it's a part of the game, right? So
Yeah.
I think you're right. We can move on from telephoning and who said this. Certain situations, it's time to move on.
Of course, when me and Lauren were in the backyard, I was like, Lauren, I don't know what the game of telephone was all about. Like, I'm moving on from that. We're all good. Same sort of stuff I said to Dot. This is something I'd really like to say as well. Well, there's a lot of us here. I think something very valuable to keep tight-lipped is who you're voting to save before you do it. After you voted, like, share it by all means. But if we all go, oh, we're all voting to save Lori, the traitors will probably hear that, and they will know, oh, I'm not going to murder that person. But I'm not saying don't discuss it in one-on-ones or small groups ahead of time. But like in a big group, if you say who you're saving, it's probably just going to give the traitors a better shot of murdering someone who isn't safe. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hey, that's smart, man.
No, yeah.
Yeah, because then they'll go after another faithful
and I'm
one.
hoping that I get some votes to save because I keep spilling
This
all
is
this
where I'm just so confused about everything. Like,
if my game ends, it's going to be at the end of a traitor's knife, and it's going to be because I'm wrong about Jason. It's really what it's going to boil down to. I'm playing, I think, a very good game if Jason is a traitor. If I'm correct, he's not going to murder me because I'm being way too good of an ally right now to him. Now, if he's not a traitor, shoot, man, jury's out. I did publicly speak in the backyard earlier tonight about, I really like if some people voted me safety, and I'm hoping that if any of those people are traitors, that alone is going to be like, well, we don't want to waste a murder on someone that people might vote safe.
I think Mike's just a smart cat. Like you're still in law school, right?
Yes, I just started law school actually.
There you go, Mike.
Oh, was it before you were like doing your bachelor's?
Criminal justice undergrad. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You work,
When
man.
we first played, that's how long it's been.
Yeah, right.
You picked the right interrogator for round one. There.
Yeah, Mike's the guy.
As you should.
Mike, we need to talk about some things. I'm in the camp of if you can't beat him, join him. And he has so much power in this game. Again, I feel like trying to turn the tide on him it's gonna be against me. It's not gonna be in my favor. So I'd rather work with him and see if we can make something shake together. He's playing such a strong game. Like he's putting himself out there so much, and I just don't know what his intentions are. But I'll tell you what, I want to be on the right side of his intentions.
What's up?
Good.
This is stressful.
Had a good day?
I feel like
The hangover from yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
trying to be on that level.
Yeah, it's especially the first time of every season. The first time, it never changes. That anxiety of that first vote is crazy, and I love the feeling. That's why I'm back and back again.
The adrenaline.
Adrenaline is addictive. For real.
I just feel like I'm on an island, though.
I know.
I understand why
that
you
way?
voted the way you did. I don't think necessarily that Lauren's a traitor. I don't, but I understand why you arrived at that conclusion. Does that make sense? Oh, the whole Elle and Lauren thing. So I had that chat with Elle where she shared my suspicions with Lauren. Lauren was one of the many people that I considered turning the vote on, but the cards just never really aligned, and that wasn't the way that the public vote conversation was going. I really trust Elle, and I've shown her my trust now multiple times, so she's very valuable to me. I had a very early game chat with Lauren that I really liked her on first impressions. I could believe that Lauren is a traitor, though. It is certainly possible. I'm not sure if there's 2 traitors, if there's 3 traitors. I'm starting to think maybe I'm not right on Raven, so that does open up like a lot more people that I need to like really look into further, and I'm keeping a very close eye on her. I
thought about voting her too.
I don't even think that's necessarily true.
What, me?
No, I'm talking to Elle. I said,
Oh,
she
my
said
bad,
she felt
my
like she
bad,
put
my
a huge
bad.
target. I said, I don't think that's necessarily true.
Big respect to Elle for voting for Lauren. I haven't talked to Lauren I've talked to her a little bit today, but I respect somebody who doesn't just go with the herd, right? Like I feel like most likely a traitor would have just been like, yeah, I know he's not a traitor, so it's good for us to eliminate him because it's just one more person to get out, right? But I feel like Elle like thinking on her own and making her own moves shows that doesn't have like a traitor's like she doesn't have a traitor's prerogatives.
You know, I think it might show something good about you, Elle, because like if you're a traitor, you're trying to get somebody out, right? And you know, voting against the group or against what everybody else was saying, I feel like kind of just shows like, you know, you're following what you think rather than just like doing what you feel like is most strategic in the game.
Then everybody was saying to Elle, oh, I don't think it's you because a traitor wouldn't go out of their way. And I was like, this girl's playing the strategy good.
You know,
I've probably said about
I
20
agree.
times across my seasons in the podcast, people who've just followed something just to be a follower, just to be on the right side of the house, are like making a mistake a lot of the time.
Right.
So like, I totally respect it.
yeah. But also, I know it's kind of scary to stand out too.
It is.
Yeah.
I respect that because we all pretty much knew we were all voting for Amancio. I think we all pretty much.
But
I'm
also
sure
the
you knew it too.
conversation
Decided to
before
do
though.
so that's what's up.
You know, I think everyone's going to be, because of your vote, watching both you, like straight up, and Lauren more closely. And like, hopefully that'll reveal something.
I have mixed feelings about it. I knew I wasn't going to vote for Amancio, but I needed to be very strategic on who I voted for. I just didn't want to go with the flow because I kind of wanted to make people feel bad for me. For vote, being courageous and doing the whole single vote, and I always want to see what would happen when somebody does that. But then after it happened, like last night, I have a total hangover from the show. I've been just thinking, oh, maybe that wasn't the best idea. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm gonna try to make nice with her and see if we can maybe build an alliance, because I don't know if too many people have talked to her.
I will just say that so after we did our voting yesterday, I don't know, it not that it didn't feel right, because I 100% agree with everything you said, Mike, but then it was like a side of me that also felt what Drea was saying as well, is like he wasn't providing us any information. That's one, right? The second part of that is like he is a quiet one. So even though I know going into that, I was like, I don't necessarily believe he is the traitor. However, he's not opening up. Like he had the floor to say something. He didn't say anything at all. And I was like, okay, great. I understand that. But I don't know. I kind of got off that call and I was like, I think at some point we got to change up how we're actually voting for people.
Agree. Like, I was saying that before you were here. Like I'm looking at something different this round.
Can I ask Elle a quick question? Elle, you stood out to me in the sense of like, I kind of wish I had spoken up and said something as well, but you said you didn't vote for him. You voted for, what was it, Lauren?
Lauren.
Yeah, see, and the funny thing is like as you started like questioning her and saying something, I feel like she had no rebuttal for that. And I'm thinking like, fuck, if maybe I should have, that kind of like swayed my vote, but I was like, I'm already determined to vote for this guy. I don't know. Was there any like, did she say anything else after the call, or was it pretty much like, no, we just let it go?
No, and I couldn't let it go. But once everybody started talking, and I doubted myself after the call, right? Because I think we all did after we got off the call.
I know I did.
From yesterday. And I don't know if she was the person that started it, because she wasn't in the room. So I don't know if I think I was quick to put down her name. I feel like alienated because I did put somebody's name on and nobody else did by myself. So I feel like I put a target on myself.
No, honestly, no, for me, I'm not saying I don't care what everyone else thinks. I definitely do. But it was more so like that took fucking guts to do. And honestly, I feel like a little bitch for not even doing, like, I feel like I just went along with everything else. I think Elle voting for Lauren was just amazing. It's so funny because like when I overheard like Elle asking Lauren, like she was just like, hey, listen, but this is what you said. And then Lauren didn't have any rebuttal for it. So I mean, like, fuck, I was like, damn, should I have voted for her? I think it was good because she stood up and she said something. She pretty much went against the grain of everyone else. And I loved her reasoning. And I called her for that. I was like, hey, listen, I really appreciate what you did. And going forward, I'm going to do the same exact thing.
I feel like I may have like even overspoke when I said, should we go for the quiet one that we feel is just too quiet and too like fits that case, or should we go for the one that, I use the word lying, but like for the one that we feel like has started this little pot stir? And which I don't know, it could have been, honestly, could have been me, could have been Ashley, could have been Lauren, could have been Dot, because all of us were in that conversation. The seed started growing and everything like that. So
my forehead is shiny as fuck. Jesus. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You're gorgeous.
It seems Elle's vote worked in her favour, and now everyone finds a traitor among them to be bold and bright. But where does it all leave Lauren?
So do you think you are excited to be an interrogator?
I don't know if that's even an official thing yet.
I think it is. I think people are gonna really decide soon.
Okay. So then my main thing is I'd want to be good at it. So I got some work to do on what it would
Yeah,
take.
I think you'd be great at it. You talk, not that it's a bad kind of talking, but you talk a lot, which like encourages. I think I told you I like that before about
Yeah.
you. It encourages the conversation, and I just appreciate that because sometimes people are just too quiet and they don't,
I
you
know.
know, they don't really support the conversation.
Dot, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to kind of like get to it, So I was thinking, I feel like most people, when you ask like, hey, who do you have a funny feeling about, whatever, everyone's like, I don't really know, quiet ones, loud ones, this and that, whatever weird faces they're making. So what I'm thinking is maybe we should go around a little bit and like talk about who we have a good feeling about, right? And then whoever's kind of left out would be like, okay, well, there's like 3 or 4 people that nobody really thinks is like super honest or whatever the fuck, right?
I'm looking at this list of like 12 players plus me, so like 11 other players, because I know that I'm innocent, right? And the fact that not 1, but maybe 2 or 3, possibly even 4 of these people on this list are traitors and are working against us, I actually don't believe it. Like, I feel like I'm not as good at this game as I thought I would be, because there are multiple people lying and scheming and working with each other to work against the group. And every time I think I know who it is, I change my mind and I think it's somebody else. So it leads me to believe that, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Well, Jason, I always feel really good about you because I feel like the transparency's there.
Yeah, definitely.
My biggest next move is to align with Jason. Looking at that list, I feel like he is the most likely to not be a traitor. I just feel it. I feel like he's so open about it, so proud of it, right? So I really want to align with him and just like start talking to him and start making decisions together. I feel like if we can align our votes, we can make big change. And I can also show him that like I'm an ally of him and that he can trust me.
To be honest, I'm gonna say this, Lauren. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, and we're talking about it in another chat. Like, I kind of felt like the fact that Elle didn't just vote for who everybody else is voting for, even though we all knew we were voting for Amancio, kind of shows he's not just going with the pack, right? I feel like the traitor would have just gone with the pack because they're trying to get people out. Like, they probably knew Amancio wasn't a traitor and like, okay, well, I can get him out, so let me just do what everybody else is doing. It's an easy out. But she didn't take the easy out.
Yeah, that was weird to me too.
Yeah, and I don't, I'm not saying because she chose you, it was a good thing, not at all. But I do think it shows like she didn't really have ulterior motives as far as like getting Amancio out.
After I did talk to some people tonight, I feel like she's probably not a traitor, but yeah, I'm leaning more towards not a traitor. I just think that a traitor wouldn't have like put themselves out there that fast, that easily, and that soon in the game.
I kind of like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna be 100% honest. So like, we first got into the game, Raven was the person that I picked to save. Raven was that person that picked me, the inspector, because like I just got a good feeling about her, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think out of all the people that I'm paying attention to, she is acting the most different than when the game started than she is like today.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And then last night, like when I didn't mean to like throw her name out there when Elle cornered me, when she called me out in the group, but like Elle made you stop what you were saying to call me out. And then I was like, I just felt like, I even was like, are you saying my name or Lori's name? Because I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
And then when I said like Raven was the one I heard it from, Raven was the one in the original chat with Mike and Drea. So the only way it left that chat was because of her.
Because she said that Lauren was part of all of that chat and stuff. And Lauren just was like, oh no, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. And Elba said, but you were there. I saw them. And Lauren was like, it wasn't me. And then she just dismissed it. And then everybody else just kind of moved on like, oh my gosh, we've lost a faithful, you know? So like, I'm kind of with Elle on that a little bit. I mean, I have no idea about the chats. I'm not a part of it. I didn't see any of it, which I'm kind of grateful for. But again, I'm kind of like, oh man, because I'm at a loss. I don't know what was going on. And like Elle, now that you're here, I was talking with Aime. I did catch body language last night when you did call Lauren on her chats. On the chats, I did catch the body language. I caught the I don't want to say decisiveness, because I mean, like, everybody's supposed to be a little bit decisive, but I mean, but the way she was like, no, I wasn't there, and you're like, but you were. And she was like, no, I wasn't. And then like we just all kind of like moved along onto, oh man, we just lost the faithful. So like I feel you on that.
And I might be wrong. I don't want to put a target on somebody. She may not be, but you know, I just was trying to get to the bottom of it.
I asked Dot if he was a traitor.
She did. I was in there for that.
Yeah, and he was
He
like,
just came
no,
straight out.
no, I'm not.
He went straight for the jugular. Like,
I
have a
did.
question for you,
I
Dre.
did. I did.
like,
So I will ask you three, are you traitors?
No.
Nah, I don't.
I am not a
Here's the thing.
traitor.
I'm not
Nah, I don't even think. I think you guys would like see through. You guys would see through that shit.
Laura, you got grandkids and grandkids?
I have 10 grandkids.
10 total grandkids.
And
But
wonderful grandkids.
But you've been married the whole time, new husband, and you got 2 kids from.
No, I have 1 kid. He has 2 kids, and together we have 10 wonderful,
grandkids.
Beautiful grandkids.
You don't even look old enough to have 10 grandkids. That's crazy to me.
Got to do this real quick before you leave me, or my grandkids will never forgive me. Good night. Grandma loves you. Grandma's beautiful girl is okay. I love you, babe.
So, Anthony, something we were talking about earlier is like people that we have a good feeling about. Like, it's kind of hard to talk about who we feel funny about unless you have somebody, but like anybody else that you feel like probably isn't a traitor.
Yeah.
Do you have anybody like that?
No, but here's the thing. What I learned from yesterday is that like I'm not going to. I feel like I've been not complacent, but what I'm going to do now is just like, it's not that I have any doubts about anyone, because I feel like I need to go back to the drawing board and kind of like really figure out, okay, let me try to get to know people more. I love how everyone's just rallying behind Drea and saying, oh my God, I really think Drea is going to be great. She's inconsistent. Like, I've said it from the beginning. And if I have to say it when we're in a room together, and it's not even about stirring the pot, it's about like calling her on her shit.
Yeah, it was
Okay,
crazy.
really quick, before anybody else joins, because I think the 3 of us, Jason, Dar, and me, should all vote Elle to be safe. And don't tell anybody that before the vote. I think the traitors might try to murder Elle to frame Lauren, and I don't want that to happen. That's where I'm not telling anybody that before the vote, but that's what I'm doing. And I think you guys, if you don't have a better plan, should do that too. Don't say that.
That was my plan anyway, but I want to say something real quick in addition to that. Elle, it meant a lot that you were willing to put yourself out there and not go with everybody else, because that's going to help us in the long run.
I'm in a weird situation because, okay, we were wrong about Amancio, right? The group was. And I could be wrong about Lauren. I don't want everybody to jump on that, and then if Lauren doesn't end up being...
No, we're not necessarily jumping with voting Lauren. It's voting to keep you safe so that nobody says that, oh, Elle opened her mouth and just went with it against everybody. So we're not saying necessarily that we're going with Lauren. I wasn't saying that. I was saying I was with Mike on wanting to keep you safe. And Dar, if I need to explain later down the road, I think I did a little bit in our one-on-one. I believe Elle is extremely loyal, and she's dedicated to doing right by us and the game right now and the side of the faithfuls. The one thing I could say is Mike and I are both loyal to you, and I hope you're loyal to both of us.
I am, and I had my one-on-one with Mike, and he shared everything about the interrogation, and I mean, he was just very open.
Yeah, no, I think Mike is with us.
Everybody told me that Mike was only going to ask you for strategy, but wasn't going to give anything back,
He
and I
hasn't.
didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. So I don't think Mike is a traitor. I really don't.
You know my thoughts. I think it would be way too obvious.
It would be.
That would be almost as heartbreaking as if I find out you're one, because I put all my trust in you.
Or you are.
Don't do that to me. I'm not. I'm not.
I think I'm doing pretty well. I do. I kind of am pretending I'm not a traitor and playing like a faithful, right? And then only thinking about it a little bit at a time that I'm actually a traitor. That's how I'm handling it. Because it's hard to be in that big group, and they're watching body language, they're watching fidgeting, and they're everybody's watching. So I think I've handled myself really well.
Once again, all of the players must vote for someone safe for the round, and the player or players with the most votes will get a safety shield. Time for the traitors to get a chance to off someone again.
I think that we can make it to the end, and I think we're doing really well. Like, if we keep moving at this rate, that's like, you know, obviously you don't know what's going to happen. It's the first week, but to go through the first week like that and to probably be able to off somebody again tonight, I feel like it's working really well. Hello. All right. So as long as I sit back and just keep taking off people like that they're not really paying attention to, it's going to make me advance further. And it doesn't seem obvious. Like, I'm not going to sit here and create drama with somebody for no reason. And then I was thinking we should vote Aime off because not a lot of people are going to try to vote her safe.
It got to be someone that they're not expecting. I was going to ask y'all something. Have anyone like heard anything? Like anyone said anything about me so far? Or
No, they have no idea about you, Dar.
So far, they like me, Mike.
They love you.
They like me, and then they're saying they like Elle as well.
Yeah, the only person who's sus of Elle is Drea.
So I was gonna vote to get Drea out tonight.
Drea.
Okay.
That's who I was thinking.
I think I'm gonna try to get Drea out.
Mike is really upset because at the end of the voting yesterday, she kind of turned on him.
But if we vote out Mike, that'd be another good one right there. Because Mike is on, like,